Well, I think that's totally appropriate. Lorelei, you deserve it. You are a rock star. And last night, Rabbi Abby was giving sort of like a weather report. She said, I heard it's going to get warmer this weekend. And certainly that's not true. It is, 4 degrees, I think, this morning. But there is a warmth that is within this sanctuary that is emanating from you, Lorelei, and your dear family as we gather to celebrate your becoming an adult within our Jewish community. You truly are an extraordinary young woman. And so I think that it is only right that on this cold day that we feel the joy and the warmth that is existing here. Sorry, Rabbi Abby, I just mentioned your weather report. So we are going to turn in our Siddur, our prayer book that is in front of us, this blue book that's there. It runs from right to left. And we're going to join together in Hine Matov. It is an old folk tune, and it comes from the Bible, a verse that says how good and how pleasant it is when brothers and sisters and siblings can dwell together in peace. And certainly that is true this evening, as Spencer is just a wonderful brother to Lorelei, but all of us are united in this family tonight. So let's join together in singing Hine Matov together.
On page 340, if you would like the words. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
It is now a joy to call upon great uncles and aunts, to call upon Gary and Lori Edelstein, and to call upon Seal Ann Libber. And we're also going to call upon a great rabbi, in addition to a great uncle, to call forward Rabbi Ike Sarada to step forward as they're going to present Lorelei with this beautiful talit that they've brought for them. And for those of you who don't know, this is a homecoming of sorts as Ike is returning to our bima. So it's good to have you here.
Thank you for welcoming me. Appreciate it. This is a very special moment indeed to be able to do this with you. Something I got to do with your mom when it was her turn to have a bat mitzvah. And, it's, I don't know, maybe for the 150th time that I've done it here in this sanctuary, I think. But this is a very old tradition. It goes back to the Torah. It tells us to make these special fringes, the tzitzit, and put them on the corner of a garment and wear them when we lead the community in prayer. So as you begin to lead us today, we want to give this to you, a gift that we picked out for you several years ago on a trip to Israel. And so we picked it out not knowing how you would grow up, but here you are, ready and willing and ready to put it on. But, our tradition says that every letter is also a number. Aleph is 1, Bet is 2, Gimel is 3, which means you can count up every word in the Torah. So if you were to count up the knots and wines in the tzitzit, it equals the phrase in Hebrew, Adonai Echad, God is one. And so this is a central principle of our faith, that there's one God for the whole universe. And we put it on the 4 corners, which is symbolic of bringing together the 4 corners of the world. It's a hope that people can live together and be at peace. All different faiths, all different nations can love one another, just as the tzitzit coexist and love each other on the talit. And finally, we hope that when we put this talit on your shoulders, you feel it like a hug, because that's what it is, an embrace from all of us, from your whole community, your friends, God's embrace for you today, too. So we invite you to say this blessing as we have the honor of placing the talit on your shoulders. Gary, come join me. Say it.
Baruch atah
Amen.
Lorelei, it's a beautiful, beautiful talit. You should wear it in good health and much happiness. And on page 88 in our Siddur, there is a rabbinic text that reminds us that when we fulfill certain adult obligations, that there is a goodness that comes from them, not only in this world, but an intrinsic goodness that leads to the world to come. And so it's meaningful that as you had this talit so lovingly placed on your shoulders, that you will be reading this reading.
These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all.
Because it leads to them all. We are also going to lead to an Ashrei prayer, an interpretive reading, for that you're going to be doing, Lorelei, for this special occasion.
Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, orelu chasela.
Ashrei am shekachalo, Ashrei am shadonai Elohav.
Hineni, here I am, ready to begin my journey as an adult within my Jewish community. Standing here today, I recognize the generations that stood before me. I have learned of their heartbreaks and their joys. I have learned of their challenges and their triumphs. Now the Torah is being passed to me, and I am ready. I am the next link in a sacred chain of tradition. And today I say before friends, and today I say before family, Hineni, here I am. Va'anachnu nevarcheh me'ata va'ad olam. Hallelujah.
We turn now in our Siddur to page 224. That's page 224, as Lorelei is going to lead us in the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yikadol v'yikara shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'omad yivrahu te ve'omichmachu te. B'chaye hon u'vyomechon u'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'vizman kariv ve'imeru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach. La'elam omei omaya yidbarach v'yishtabach v'yitfa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalol shmei tigadusha b'richu la'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran v'oma v'imeru amen.
We now rise as a community as we turn to page 226 for the tefillah.
Adonai sefatay tiftach ufi agitei latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'i
We continue now reading responsively on page 231.
Your might, O God, is everlasting. Help us to use our strength for good and not evil.
You are the source of life and blessing. Help us to choose life for ourselves and our children.
You are the support of the falling. Help us to lift up the fallen.
You are the author of freedom. Help us to free the captive.
You are our hope in death as in life. Help us to keep faith with those who sleep in the dust.
Your might, O God, is everlasting. Help us to use our strength for good.
For blessing and not for curse, for life and not for death, for abundance and not want. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayel HaKol.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו משמי מקום, ככתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה לזה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוכו הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גאלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. We turn now to page 236 for Ritzay.
Ritzay Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'avon tamid avodat Yisrael
turn now to page 239, and we read responsively from the top of the page. For the gift of our souls, for the promise of our lives, for all we are and all we might yet become, for the creative seeds sown within our minds, whose nurturing can yield a grand harvest, for all these gifts we thank you, O God, and pray that we prove ourselves worthy. May our lives be ripe with the fruit of compassion, sweetly sustaining those in need. May we use our gifts wisely and with love, true messengers of blessing to the world. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lecho hashalom. Ki atahu Shalom, Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov ba'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael. B'cho et u'v'cho sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. With words of peace in our minds and in our hearts, we take a moment now for silent prayer.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We are going to now turn in our service to page 244 for Seder Kriyat HaTorah. And Lorelei knows that a high point of our Torah service, or rather a high point of our service, is when she takes the Torah from the ark and marches it around the congregation and then reads from it. It's a symbol that the Torah and all of its beautiful values is not something that we keep up here just for the officiants, but Torah and its wisdom is truly for all of us. And it's meaningful that we are going to be passing the Torah from generation to generation in Lorelai's family. So it's a great joy to call upon grandparents, to call upon Sue and Brian Haliniak, as well as Toby and Cheryl Libber to come forward, and then to call forward Gregor Cox and Andrea Libber, of course, and Lorelei and Spency. If you'd like to come up, Spencer. Sorry, Spency, I said I wouldn't do that, but I'm doing it anyway. Spencer, if you'd like to come stand up here on the bima, and Lorelei, if you would stand next to your brother. And it's also a joy to call forward Patrick, Alexis, Olivia, and Dalton Cox to step forward as they have the honor of opening up our art doors. Once again, we are turning to page 244 in our Siddur, in our prayer books, and I invite you now to rise as we greet our Torah scroll.
In kamocha v'Elohim Adonai ve'in kamasecha Malachutecha malachut kol olamim umemshatecha b'chodor v'ador Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai imluch leolam va'ed Adonai uz la'amo yitain Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom ki mitzion tetzeh Torah ki mitzion tetzeh Torah udevar Adonai mirushalayim Baruch shenatan Torah Torah Baruch shenatan Torah Torah le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato.
Zota Torah, Lorelei, as you well know, this is the Torah, and found within it are values and ideals that have been lifted high by your family for generations. The value of being upright and strong and kind and just. It is a joy to pass this Torah from the generation of your grandparents and those who stand in their place to the generation of your parents. And now it is a joy to see this Torah placed on your shoulder where it should remain with much happiness. We turn now and face the congregation as we recite the watchword of our faith, the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Gadlul Adonai iti unromema shemo yachdav Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod Ki cho b'shamayim uva'aretz Ki כיכו בשמיים ובארץ, לך אדוני הממלכה, והמנשא לכל ראש. כיכו בשמיים ובארץ, כיכו בשמיים ובארץ, לך אדוני הממלכה, והמנשא לכל ראש. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד.
You may be seated unless you're one of Lorelai's friends or someone who is here who might not have ever been to a bar or bat mitzvah service before. If you are a friend of Lorelai's that have not necessarily had the opportunity to see the Torah that Lorelai's reading from before, I'd like to invite you up onto the bima. And we're going to share with you a little bit about this Torah scroll. So, like I said, if you've never been to a bat mitzvah or if you've never had the chance to see a Torah scroll, please come on up. We'd love to have you up on the bima for just a moment. It's nice to see some of you come up that I know have been to bat mitzvahs before, but that's okay. Some of you have not, but that's all right. Come if you would like to come around and take a look at the Torah that Lorelai's reading from. Because what Lorelai's reading from is not just any Torah. It's a Torah that is very special to us at this congregation. And we tell the story of this Torah scroll each and every week in which we have a bar and bat mitzvah. So, as all Torah scrolls and the lessons that reside within it, this Torah scroll was much loved by the people that used to gather around it and learn from its wisdom. This Torah scroll is about 130 years old, and it comes from Poland. And whoever wrote this Torah scroll was truly at the height of their craft. But there was a gentleman that was part of this synagogue that used to worship around this Torah scroll that loved this Torah scroll. It is light and it is beautifully written and it's wonderful for young people to read from. But he had a sense of what might befall the Jewish community when the Nazis amassed upon the Polish border. So he hid the Torah scroll away. And sure enough, when the Germans entered into Poland, initiating the Second World War, that man was taken, like his community and like all Jewish communities that were in Poland, to concentration camps and death camps. The man who hid the Torah scroll away was taken to Auschwitz-Birkenau, where life expectancy was a matter of days. But this man was able to survive there right up until the end of the hostilities. When the camp was liberated, he returned to where he had hidden the Torah scroll away, and he brought it to a very small surviving remnant that was meeting in the city of Warsaw. And when that community, that remnant, became so small and moved to places like the United States and Canada and Israel and Western Europe, they decided to send the Torah scroll to the United States. And that's when Congregation Shalom learned about it and brought it here to Milwaukee. And the purpose of it being sent to the United States is that a Torah is meant to be used, especially by young people, so that they can grow with a sense of spirituality and enable the spark of hope and liberty and freedom for all humanity to be kindled and continued. And that means that when Lorelei carries and reads the Torah amidst our community, it represents not only the hard work that she's done and how she's been able to learn from the Torah, but it represents how every young person, no matter their religion, their race, their nationality, their ethnicity, can be a source of light unto the world, no matter how much darkness we might see in it. And it's particularly moving and special to see all of you here supporting Lorelei in this moment as she reads from the Torah, and to be able to see exactly what she's reading from. So thank you to all of you for being here and to supporting Lorelei and her family. I'm going to invite you now to go back to your seats as we are going to begin to do our Torah chanting.
We are going to hear the Torah read in just a moment. I want to let you know that if you would like to follow along, if you have a Chumash near you, if you have one of these fatter books, we're going to be starting on page 158 in this book with verse 53, and we're in Parashat Miketz, which is a parsha that comes at a pivotal moment in Joseph's story. He has accomplished a great deal. He is now a major figure in Egypt, and he is helping to mete out food to those who are hungry during a famine, and his brothers come looking for food, and a really interesting interaction unfolds that I'm not going to tell you too much about because I want to let Lorelei do it. So again, we're in this book on page 158, starting at verse 53.
And it's a joy now to call upon Sammy Stein-Avner, who's going to be our first Torah reader this evening. Oh, there you are. And also to call upon Andy Stein and Alicia Serrata and Cara Edelstein and Renee Edelstein to step forward. Ya'amdu Shoshana Panina Bar Chana Gershon Ve'aryeh Ben Chana Gershon Ve'elisha Bat Yitzchak Ve'tzipora Ve'chanaliba Bat Leah Zelda Ve'yecheskel Menashe Ve'chaika Sara Leah Zelda Ve'yecheskel Menashe.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vatichlena Shava Shenei Hashava Asher Haya Ba'eretz Mitzrayim. Vatichlena Shava Shenei Hara'av Lavo Ka'asher Amar Yosef. Vayehi Ra'av Bechol Ha'aratzot V'Bechol Eretz Mitzrayim Haya Lachem.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Now it's a joy to call upon Amy and Gary Stein to step forward. Ya'amdu Chana Bat Abraham V'chaika V'Gershon Ben Aram V'chasha Sima.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vatirav b'cho eretz Mitzrayim, vayitzak ha'am el paro la'lechem, vayomer paro l'chol Mitzrayim, lechu el Yosef, asher vayomer lachem ta'asu, v'harav haya al kol pnei ha'aretz, vayiftach Yosef et kol asher bahem yishbor leMitzrayim, vayechazek harav be'eretz Mitzrayim, v'kol ha'eretz ba'u Mitzrayma, lishbor et Yaakov el Yosef, ki chazak harav b'chol ha'eretz.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam dotah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Yesher koach and mazel tov to you. Wonderful aliyah. It's a joy now to call upon Kelly Liver and Jesse Liver and Jake Farkas. Ya'amdu chasha Yehudit bad Yom Tov Yaakov v'Chaviva v'Golda bad Yom Tov Yaakov v'Chaviva v'Yaakov ben Wendy and Alex.
Baruch Adonai Habarach.
Baruch Adonai habarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'alim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayar Yaakov ki yeshever b'Mitzrayim, vayomer Yaakov levanav lama titreu. Vayomer hine shamati ki yeshever b'Mitzrayim, redu shama v'shavru lanu meshem. V'nechiev elo namutz, vayirdu echi Yosef asara, lishbor bar miMitzrayim, ve'et Binyamin echi Yosef, v'lo shlach Yaakov et echav, ki amar pen yigra'enu ason.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam notah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Yesher koach to you, beautiful aliyah. And now it's a joy to call upon Toby and Cheryl Liver. Ya'amdu Yom Tov Yaakov ben Yehuda v'Sima Terel v'Chaviva bar Avraham v'Chashav Sima. And now it is also a joy that Lorelei is going to be our Torah reader.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Vayavo'u b'nei Yisrael, yishbor b'tuch havaim, ki haya hara'av be'eretz Canaan, v'Yosef hu hashalit al ha'aretz, hu hamashbir ho'am ha'aretz, vayavo'u achei Yosef, vayishtachavu lo apayim arza, vayar Yosef et echav, vayakirem, vayitnaker Vayker Yosef et Echav Vehem lo hikiruhu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam notah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Now it's a great joy to call upon your mom and dad, to call upon Andrea Zipper and Gregor Cox. Ya'amdu le'atzviya v'yom tov Yaakov v'chaviva v'yitzchak David ben Kevin Dessou.
Baruch et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Vayizkor Yosef et hachalomot asher halam lahem vayomer alehem meraglim atem lirot et ervat haaretz batem vayomru elav lo Adoni va'avadecha ba'u lishbor ohel kulanu b'nei ish echad nachnu kenim anachnu lo hayu avadecha meraglim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nateh b'kodeinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Ta'amod, ta'amod, ta'amod ha-bat mitzvah. Ta'amod, liat ayala bat Yitzchak David v'leat Zevia. Hanechbada is with great joy and great fanfare that we call forward Lorelai Cox as she becomes a bat mitzvah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer alehem lo ki ervat haaretz batem lirot. Vayomru shneim asar avadecha achim anachnu b'nei ish echad be'eretz Canaan v'hinei hakaton et avinu hayom v'ha'echad einenu. Vayomer alehem Yosef hu asher dibarti alehem lemor miraglim atem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natan b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Lorelai, give your mom and dad a big hug and a kiss. Spencer, too. I think you all deserve it. You were absolutely wonderful. And there was one verse that I want to draw your attention to that is, I think, particularly speaks to the moment. Spencer, you can come take a look also. And it is particularly special because it speaks to not just the nature of Joseph's experience and what we hope for in the world. And Gregor and Andrea, don't go anywhere. Stay right here. Because this verse talks about the idea of remembering something that's important to all of us. And it is this idea of dreaming. Because when I look at your parents looking at you right now, right? I see a tremendous amount of understanding that you and your brother standing here together represent the deepest hopes and their wishes and their dreams for the future. And here it says, right, we score Yosef ha-cholomot. Joseph remembered his dreams, right? Sometimes it's hard for us to remember those dreams, to remember maybe what it felt like for your parents to hold you in their arms for the very first time, and to think about all of the hopes and the wishes that they had for the days and years to follow. But when they look at you, I know that they remember their dreams, and it's important for you to remember yours, to dream big in this world, to dream big for all the things that you can do. And I know right now you're thinking about being a nurse, and you might do other things, and you have dreams of other things, but whatever you do, I know you're going to be amazing at it, so long as you hold on to those dreams that you have for yourself and for the people that you love. So always remember what it feels like in this moment to look at your mom and dad and look out in the congregation and see the love that's coming from the eyes of each and every person here, and understand that a moment and a person can truly be the fulfillment of dreams. So we are going to now move forward in our service because you've uplifted the Torah so beautifully. I'm going to call upon the Starker in your family. I have the joy of now calling upon Brian Avner, who's going to come up and to call upon Spencer and Eyal and Noam and Maya to step forward as they're going to lift and bind our Torah scroll. So let's rise together as we lift and bind our Torah.
Page 252 in the Siddur.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Yelalai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yalla lai la la lai lai lai. Yalla lai 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 lai. Lai la la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai la la lai. Yalla lai lai lai. Yalla lai 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 lai. Lai la la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Yalla lai lai lai.
You may be seated. We're going to now hear Lorelai read in English some of the words we just heard in Hebrew.
The 7 years of plenty that prevailed in the land of Egypt came to an end, and the 7 years of famine began as Joseph had foretold. There was famine in all the lands, but all over the land of Egypt there was food. Yet all the land of Egypt was starving, so that the people cried out to Pharaoh for food. Pharaoh said to all Egypt, "Go to Joseph, do whatever he tells you." The famine had spread across the land, so Joseph opened up all that was in the stores, and he provided for Egypt, for the famine had gained strength in the land of Egypt. All lands came to Egypt to buy provisions from Joseph, for the famine had taken hold in every land. When Jacob realized that there was grain for sale in Egypt, Jacob said to his sons, "Why are you staring at each other?" He said, "Look, I've heard that there are provisions for sale in Egypt. Go down that way and buy us provisions from there, that we may live and not die." So Joseph's brothers went down, 10 of them, to buy grain from Egypt. But Jacob did not send Benjamin's, Joseph's brother, with his brothers, for he thought, lest a deadly mishap befall him.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that English with us. We're going to turn now to the Haftarah. If you want to follow along in the Chumash, in the Torah book, we are going to be on page 167. In case you're wondering what a Haftarah is, a Haftarah is a selection from the book of prophets that has some sort of relationship with the Torah portion. So there are themes in common, other kinds of ideas in common, and it sort of reinforces and further explores all the things that we have heard from the Torah that Lorelei read so beautifully for us. So we're going to start out with the blessing before the Haftarah, which you can find in your prayer book, I believe, on page 254.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah Moshe Avdo Uvisrael Amo Uvinviei Ha'emet V'Tzedek. Vayomer Hamelech Kechu Licharev Vayaviu Haherev Lifnei Hamelech Vayomer Hamelech Gizru Et hayeled hachai lishnayim utnu et hachatzi le'echad ve'et hachatzi le'echad vatomer hayisha asher b'na hachai el hamelech ki nichmeru rachameha al b'na Vatomer li Adoni Tenula et hayalud hachai vehamet al timitu v'zot omeret gam li gam lach lo yeh gezoru vaya'an hamelech vayomer tenula et hayalud hachai vehamet lo timitu hi'imo vayishmu ho Yisrael et hamishpat asher shafat hamelech vayeru mipnei hamelech ki ra'u ki chochmat Elohim bekirbo na'asot mishpat vayehi hamelech shomo melech al kol Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzor kol haolamim tzadik b'chol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber u'mkayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lehavod ol tif'aret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach u'mvarhim otach yitbarach shimcha b'fi hol chai tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Yasher Koach, you read all of that so beautifully, and you can take a deep breath as well, yes. We are going to now return the Torah to the Ark. I would invite you to please rise as able and to join us in turning to page 256 in your prayer books.
And it's a joy to call forward Spencer and Asher, who are going to open up our curtain. So Spencer and Asher, if you'd like to come up. Asher, are you here? All right, we're going to take a rain check on Asher. Asher, you're going to come back up later. Spencer, you got it. You got this handled. All right, so if you would open up the Ark curtain.
Behold, a good doctrine has been given unto you, forsake it not. It is a tree of life to all who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace.
Eitz chaim hi lama chazikim ba v'tomacheha me'ushar deracheha darchei noam v'chon tivoteha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chodesh Chodesh Yameinu Chodesh Yameinu Kekedem.
You may be seated.
And now Lorelai has prepared these words on the occasion of her becoming a bat mitzvah.
Shabbat Shalom. My Torah portion is Miketz, and it comes from the book Genesis. The main character in my Torah portion is Joseph, who was a dreamer. Joseph was born into a fantastic life as a farmer. He had a loving father named Jacob, but Jacob may have loved Joseph a little too much. More on that later. Joseph was born with 11 brothers, all from 3 different mothers. But you see, Jacob had a favorite wife. Her name was Rachel. But because Rachel was his favorite wife, Jacob was extra sad when she died. So he loved the kid that reminded him most of Rachel. That kid was Joseph. Joseph was kind of spoiled and kind of bratty, but he kept having these weird dreams that showed his brothers and parents bowing down to him. But in Jacob's eyes, Joseph was perfect and could do no wrong, which caused Joseph's 11 other brothers to feel angry, hurt, and jealous, and most of all, to resent Joseph. And that resentment led to them to do something horrible. The final straw for the brothers was when Jacob gifted Joseph this amazing coat. The coat was red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, brown, white, black, salmon, violet, gold, silver, teal, navy, crimson, lavender, scarlet, gray, indigo, and so many more colors. They decided to kill Joseph. The 11 brothers said they were taking Joseph out to the field, and they walked to a pit and were going to throw Joseph in the pit and leave him to die. But then one of the brothers, named Judah, said, "Why don't we sell him instead?" And all the brothers agreed. So they stripped Joseph of his beautiful coat and sold him to the traders. The brothers then took the blood of a dead animal and smeared it over the coat. And they told Jacob that Joseph was killed by a wild animal. Meanwhile, Joseph was shipped to Egypt, where he worked his way up from being thrown in prison to interpreting Pharaoh's dreams and becoming his second in command. Joseph figured out that the Pharaoh's dreams predicted 7 years of perfect crops, followed by 7 years of famine. And Pharaoh was so impressed that he put Joseph in charge of making sure that Egypt had enough food to get through the 7 years of famine. When the famine started, Joseph's brothers, yep, they are back in the story, came to Egypt and said they desperately needed food. And guess who was the one to help them? That's right, Joseph. It had been many years since he was sold, and his brothers didn't recognize him. But Joseph recognized them right away, and he decided to test them. He claimed they were spies and demanded they bring their youngest brother, Jacob's new favorite, to come see him. The brothers did what Joseph said, and eventually Joseph decided that his brothers had learned their lesson. Then Joseph revealed himself to his brothers, and they all celebrated together. In this story, we learn a lot about the power of forgiveness. Joseph has been hurt and scared and almost dead, but he is still able to forgive his brothers. So how did Joseph forgive his brothers after all they did to him? What made Joseph be able to let go of such a dark past? First of all, I think that Joseph didn't forgive them right away. I think that he always wondered why. Why did they almost kill him? Why did they hate him? Why did they sell him? but I think that as he got older and more mature, he learned not to be so spoiled and bratty. He realized that nobody is perfect and all people make mistakes. And you might be wondering, how did he realize nobody is perfect and everybody makes mistakes? I believe that he learned from experience. In Egypt, Joseph started at the very bottom of the social ladder. He was a slave, but he worked his way up to being in charge, and he did the right thing, no matter the consequence, even though the right thing landed him in jail. My point is, Joseph had a lot of character growth. He had many moments to learn, and he did learn. After all of those experiences, Joseph was able to forgive his brothers because he recognized that all people make mistakes and nobody's perfect. Forgiveness matters. If you never forgive people, you will be lonely and sad because who wants to be friends with someone who will immediately give up on the friendship if you make a mistake? But if you always forgive people who make the same mistake over and over again, then you're going to be stuck being the person who everybody assumes will just cover for their mistakes. Forgiveness is a power. You have to use it wisely. Being wise with your power is so important. I have a question for you. If the world had more forgiveness, then do you think there would be as many problems as there are currently? It is a rhetorical question, so no need to answer out loud. I just want you to think about it. I think that if the world were a little bit more forgiving and a little bit more understanding, we wouldn't have as many problems as we do today. Everybody deserves forgiveness and a second chance. As I said before, forgiveness is so important because nobody is perfect. Forgiveness is one way to show kindness to others. Another is helping make sure people's basic needs are met. For my mitzvah project, I tried to do this by making 25 no-sew blankets for people in need. As someone who is always cold, it felt meaningful because, in my opinion, there's no better feeling than when you're cold and you put on a warm blanket. It just feels so good. I also did it because it breaks my heart every time I see an unhoused person, especially when they're freezing. So that is why I chose this mitzvah project. As I am here on the bima, looking at all of you, I can't help but think about people who did not get to become a b'nai mitzvah. So as a part of my bat mitzvah service, I will be telling you about someone who did not get to become a bat mitzvah due to the Holocaust. Lila Nestel was born in Poland to parents Jacob and Frida. She was born in 1935 and died in 1941. Yep, you heard that right. She died at age 6. Because Lila died so young, she never got to become a bat mitzvah. So I am sharing my bat mitzvah celebration with her. It's not fair that she didn't get to be a bat mitzvah, so I feel so honored that I get to carry on her legacy. No one deserved to die in the Holocaust, so it brings me such joy that I get to share today with Lila Nestel. Now I would like to express my gratitude to all the people who have helped shape me into who I am. Grandma Susie, Grandpa Brian, Uncle Morgan, Uncle Colin, thank you for coming and thank you for being here right now to see me become a bat mitzvah. Okay, this might be a little corny, but I'm going to give a mini speech about each of my teachers here at Shalom, whether that's Hebrew school or it's Torah and Haftorah teachers. I'll start out with the first Hebrew school teacher I ever had, Maddie Powell. Maddie is so caring and always doing what's best for others, no matter how hard or how annoying it is. She's still doing it because she's that caring and that compassionate. Maddie has taught me how to be compassionate and to be cool about situations that seem kind of stupid to me, but are not to other people. My second teacher was Mr. Paler, but because I have had many more experience with him recently, I will talk about him at the end. After Mr. Paler, I had Maddie again, and the next teacher I had was Miss Susie. Miss Susie was always so excited to see us, even when our classmates wouldn't be quiet or was not totally respectful to her. She still looked forward to seeing us, and I really appreciate that. Now let me talk about Mr. Paler. Mr. Paler is one of the best listeners ever. Whenever I talked to him about something, even something stupid, he would always listen to me. Last, but certainly not least, Mrs. Green. Mrs. Green is extremely kind. She's always so kind no matter what. And when you mess up on one of the prayers, she supports you in a gentle fashion. Of course, not all teachers are found in a temple. Some are found in a school called Glen Hills Middle School. The two teachers I have here today bring me a lot of joy, whether I'm in the classroom being taught or I'm talking to them individually. No matter what, they inspire me to be better. One of the teachers here, Mrs. Kreger, is so mesmerizing you always want to know what she's saying. And the other teacher here, Mrs. Young, has such a power in the classroom that she makes you want to hear everything she says. Both of those teachers are the definitions of what I want to be when I'm older. Mesmerizing and having a strong power. So thank you, Mrs. Kreger and Mrs. Young, for showing me what an amazing teacher looks like. I would now like to thank the very people who are the glue to this congregation, Rabbi Noah and Rabbi Abby and Megan. Both of you are so amazing in your own ways. You both have helped me truly understand what Judaism means. I couldn't be here without your guidance. Thank you for helping me really understand what my portion is about and for always being there for me when I need it. Thank you to Enid, who is a lovely person to talk to. Thank you for lifting my spirits with our chats and with your lovely singing voice. Thank you to Aunt Lori and Uncle Gary for being so excited and happy about everything that I do. Thank you to Aunt Chipper and Uncle Ike for being so interesting to talk to and to be around. Like if we were talking about something boring, you would turn it into a very interesting conversation. Thank you to Aunt Amy and Uncle Gookie for making me laugh and for always having my back. Thank you, Sammy, Brian, Ayal, Noam, and Maya. You guys are just amazing. Thank you to Sammy for always being so willing to help me. Thank you to Sammy for always being so willing to help me with anything. Thank you to Brian for being the best education director of Congregation Shalom. And thank you to Ayal, Noam, and Maya for always making me laugh. Thank you to Kara and Derek for being so fun to talk to. Thank you to Renee and Jason, who have always put up with me when I don't practice for piano. And thank you for including me in serious talks instead of thinking that I am a child who isn't mature enough to talk about serious things. And a special thank you to Alicia and Joe for coming. It means a lot to me that you bought plane tickets, are staying in a hotel, using your free time to come and see me become a bat mitzvah. It means a lot to me, so thank you. Now I'd like to give a special shout out to my aunts and uncles. On my mom's side, I have Auntie Kelly, Auntie Jessie, and Uncle Jake. On my dad's side, I have Auntie Alex and Uncle Pat. All 5 of them shaped who I am. For example, all of my amazing aunts are so caring and so nurturing. All 3 of my aunts have always been there for me, and they always will be. Meanwhile, my uncles care about me strongly, and I know they will always have my back, no matter what. You might have heard some recurring themes. That's because they are both amazing and fantastic, and I look up to all of them. They are such an important part of my life, and I'm so grateful to have them by my side. So thank you guys for always having my back. Now I will thank the people who are like my family. My friends. Don't worry, guys, I haven't forgotten about you. My friends are the funniest, silliest, kindest, sweetest people I've ever met. They are my glue, holding me together, making sure that I won't fall apart. I would not be who I am today without my friends. My friends are so supportive but honest. If I have a terrible idea, they will bring me back down to earth. So my dear friends, thanks for always making me smile, laugh, feel supported, and happy. Thank you. Hello, Mani and Papa. I have a whole lot to say about you and a whole lot to say to you. Mani and Papa, you have always supported me, always made me happy when I was sad, went to every single event and gotten me flowers, encouraged me to be a better person, and so much more. Manya, you always know when something is wrong. Whether it's by my face, my mood, or my actions, you always know. And Papa, you are the best at cheering me up. You always know just what to say or do to make me feel better. I am eternally grateful to you guys. You are the happiest, most supportive people I know. I adore you guys. So thank you forever and always. My dear brother, what to say to you? You are the best little brother anyone could ever ask for. You are the sweetest, most empathetic boy I have ever met. You are truly amazing and incredible. I adore you, Spencer, and I don't know how I could ever live without you. You bring me so much joy, whether it's with your empathy, kindness, and humor. You are the best little brother ever. In fact, I don't know how people live without a Spencer. Glad that's not me. Even when we fight or argue, I know we will always be all right because you are my little brother, and I love you so, so, so much. Dear Mom and Dad, you are simply the best parents anyone could ever ask for. You are so nurturing and so caring. You are always supporting me no matter what I do. Like when I do theater, you go to every single show with flowers and smiles and cameras. You make me smile and laugh. You make me feel loved. I don't know how you put up with me because I'm a little sasspot, but you do it every single time. I try to be just like both of you, whether you realize it or not. Dad, I try to copy your humor. Mom, I try to copy your kindness and willingness towards others. I love you guys so much, and I'm so grateful that you are my parents. Even when we're mad at each other, I know we still love each other. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for being the best parents anyone could ever dream of. I love you guys so much. Oh, and thank you for sponsoring this bat mitzvah. And lastly, thank you to everyone who came here today to see me become a bat mitzvah. Shabbat Shalom.
That was a mic drop moment, Lorelei. Take a deep breath. You have certainly earned it. That was absolutely beautiful. And now it's a joy to call upon Andrea and Gregor to step forward as they are going to share their words of love for you, Lorelei. You can come stand up here with them.
Well, I don't think we can top that.
I don't think we have the time to
No. Our dearest, sweetest Lorelei Abigail Liber Cox, it has been amazing to watch you grow from a newborn to a toddler to a sassy to a sassy little girl into the amazing and still sassy young woman you have become. The joy you bring us on a daily basis is like nothing we ever anticipated.
I think any new parent hopes that their new child will be a better version of themselves. I can confidently say that has proven to be true with you, Lorelei. As a student, you have a combination of intelligence and drive that has taken you far and will continue to do so. You amaze us with your empathy and kindness towards others. You have a deep love for your family, especially your younger brother Spencer. As you've gotten older, you've pushed boundaries and challenged us, but we recognize that this is your way of finding your place in the world and figuring out how you fit. It's hard to believe that your bat mitzvah is finally here. I often say time is a blur, but that has never seemed truer than when I think about the fact that I have a 13-year-old daughter who has now become an adult in the eyes of the Jewish community. Having adopted Judaism as an adult, it fills me with great pride to see how your appreciation of Judaism has blossomed. You've brought the same level of curiosity and diligence into preparing for your bat mitzvah that we've seen you bring to your secular education. You put a lot of pressure on yourself to get things right, and you are constantly striving for perfection. While sometimes we have to urge you to be a little easier on yourself, remember it's about progress, not perfection, you always make us proud.
It is easy to recognize your kindness, your warmth, your open-mindedness, and quest for equality. But recently I've used a new word to describe you that I don't think you realize: brave. Last year alone, as a sixth grader, and we all know that middle school is quite literally the hardest and most complex time of life ever, you dove into 3 brand new activities simultaneously, and all of them on your own, not because you were doing it with a friend. Cheerleading, forensics, and Future City, all totally different, but with one common denominator: a brave, curious girl, trying something new, even if it meant stepping out of your comfort zone. Nothing stops you. It has been so hard to find the right words for this speech because you are such an easy girl to celebrate. It's so easy to recognize amazing things about you. But I must say that we would not be here without the love and support of so many incredible friends and family. Your Manya and Papa are 2 of the most special, incredible humans in this world. Since the day you were born, they were there, with food, clothes, a coat, so many coats, especially if there's a sale. And just like Manya's parents before her, shoes. They have spent almost every Monday with you since I returned to work. Do you know how many Mondays that is? 690. 690 Mondays. Manya and Papa have cared for you, schlepped you to or from school, and most importantly for me, left us something for dinner, just so I wouldn't have to prep anything. Manya and Papa, I know we can be high maintenance sometimes, a lot of times, but please, do not doubt for a second how much we appreciate you and how eternally grateful we are for the love and support that you have provided and will continue to provide. Thank you. Your aunts and uncles are some of the most incredible people on this planet. Pat and Alex, Kelly, Jesse, and Jake, we do not know where we would be without you. The relationship that Lorelei and Spencer share with each of you is unique, special, and unmatched. Gregor and I have no doubt that the many, many times we frustrate our children in the years ahead, that they will turn to you to complain about how annoying we are because of the close relationship that you share. Your Uncle Pat reached out to me Friday, just to check in on how everyone was doing. And even though I owe him a text back, sorry, Pat, what I wanted to tell him was that it's an incredible feeling to be in a place surrounded by people who love and care for your child. You are all a part of our village, and we are so honored to welcome people here today from Milwaukee, Manitowoc, Madison, Green Bay, the Fox Valley, the Chicago area, St. Paul, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Maryland, North Carolina, and California.
Thank you all for being here and celebrating this amazing milestone in Lorelai's life. We also pause to remember Lorelai's grandfather, Kevin Cox, also known as Grandpa Trains. Even though he's not here with us physically, his presence is felt on all days, but especially today. The pride he had in Pat and I and in our families shines through and carries through in my pride for you, Lorelei.
Now, no list of thank yous would be complete without recognizing Lorelai's ride or die, her numero uno and most favorite little brother, Spencer. Spencer, you have been an amazing support to your sister during this incredibly stressful time. Whether it's waking her up before her alarm goes off to say good morning, or interrupting her while she's practicing to show her a new chess move, you really are the best little brother.
The way you guys look out for one another is special, and we are so lucky to be your parents.
We also want to take a moment to thank the incredible team here at Shalom that helped Lorelei to reach this day. Rabbi Noah, thank you for sharing your Judaic wisdom with us, but really just for being the fun dad for one of Lorelei's best friends. Rabbi Abby, you are a gem. Getting to know and work with you throughout this process has been one of the highlights. Thank you for guiding, motivating, and supporting Lorelei when things were easy and hard. You walked the fine line of teacher and confidant with ease and warmth.
Thank you also to Megan Gooderman, Rick Paler, and Mrs. Laura Green for helping Lorelei to prepare for today. And Uncle Ike, we are always grateful when you are part of our family's life cycle events.
And I'm going off script because I don't know how we missed this. Thank you, Sammy Stein-Avner, for your beautiful and incredible chanting of the Torah earlier today.
Lorelei, you have taken our breath away today with your poise, maturity, and grace.
We love you to the moon, stars, all the planets, and all the galaxies, and back again. Please stay true to who you are always. You are the best, just the way you are.
We love you.
Gregor and Andrea, thank you for those beautiful, beautiful words about Lorelei. I'm going to ask that the two of you stand at this moment. And Spencer, if you would join them, because you've had such a hand in making Lorelei exactly who she is. And Lorelei, if you would rise too. And all of the grandparents who are here, if you would stand as well, and aunts and uncles and great aunts and uncles and cousins and the family who we think of as friends and the friends that we think of as family. If you would rise as well, community that is here, joined in this moment together as we turn to words that have been on the lips of parents and grandparents and all who love to share in these words of the Shechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Blessed are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, who has given us life, who has sustained us, and who has brought us to this very special moment today. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated. And I am so glad that there's so much Kleenex up here right now. Lorelei, you've been absolutely radiant tonight. You led with confidence, you prepared with real seriousness, and you spoke from a place that is really unmistakably you. Thoughtful and funny and full of heart. There's a lot of skill that you've brought to this moment, but the real gift is the person that's behind the skill. Now, I've known you pretty much your entire life, and I remember you at Ganami as a baby when you and my Hannah were so little that your friendship had its own language. It wasn't Hannah and Lorelei, it was ha-ha and lie. And through every phase since then, that friendship has been such a gift to witness. The years change, schools change, interests change, the world changes, and yet the two of you have kept a friendship with joy and loyalty and genuine care. Now, as a rabbi, I'm blessed to watch a lot of beautiful moments, but as a parent, watching your friendship has been one of mine, and it is one of my fondest dreams, and I can speak for Lauren and your parents that your friendship stands the test of time. Now, your Torah portion brings us Joseph the dreamer. At the beginning, Joseph is full of big dreams and big feelings, and over time, he grows into someone who learns how to use his gifts well. He becomes someone who can read the needs of the moment, who can think ahead, who can bring calm and wisdom into a complicated situation. But here's what I love most about Joseph in this part of the story. He does not let his story turn him bitter. He doesn't let his heart shrink. He grows. And when the moment finally comes to respond to his brothers, he chooses a path that leads to healing. Lorelei, that's exactly what you taught us tonight. You spoke about forgiveness with remarkable wisdom and did not describe it as being passive. You described it as a power. And you reminded all of us that power has to be used wisely. That's such an adult insight. And it's also the kind of insight that fits you, because you have the sweetest heart. You notice people. You care about how others feel. You want to make things better. And you have the kind of presence that makes others feel safe and cared for. We also saw that in your mitzvah project. Those blankets you made represent warmth, but they also represent dignity. They're proof that you do not just feel compassion, you act on it. And you take a Jewish value and turn it into something that someone can hold. I'm not surprised at all how wonderful you are, because I know the people, the parents and grandparents and uncles and aunts and great uncles and aunts and cousins that you come from. You're a beautiful reflection of the light that emanates from Andrea and Gregor. From the first time we met you, we could see the love you have wrapped around Lorelei, the support you've given her, the way you have encouraged her learning and thinking deeply about the world, the way you have made room for her to become fully herself. It shows. And tonight is also a reflection of your light, your values, and the care that you bring to others, and your devotion. You should feel incredibly proud. And Spencer, you've been an amazing little brother, and I know in no time at all you'll be up here making us all proud with Lorelei's example. Now tonight the calendar is giving us the perfect frame for what you as a family represent and who you are at your core, Lorelei. This is Shabbat Mevarchim Chodesh Tevet. We are announcing the month that brings us into the darkest stretch of winter. The moon is waning and the nights are long. And tomorrow night we begin Hanukkah, one candle, a small, steady, stubborn light. And tonight we're celebrating Havdalah, when Lorelei, you hold a braided flame in your hand and carry it with you into the week. Havdalah is Judaism's way of saying, don't leave the holiness here, but bring it with you. Bring the light with you. So Lorelei, I want to say it like this. You are a shamash, a light that kindles others, because you have a way of lighting up a space with the warmth of your heart. You help other people shine. You bring gentleness and laughter and steadiness. You make the room better. And my charge to you is simple. Keep being that light. Keep being kind. Keep being wise. Keep the sweetness of your heart and let it grow stronger as you grow. Let your Judaism be something you carry forward into friendship, into school, into the way you treat people, into the way you notice who needs warmth. Lorelei, may you go from this night forward with courage to dream big dreams, and the goodness to use your gifts as well. May you be a person who brings warmth into winter. May you be a person who turns kindness into action. And may you be a shamash who helps others find their light while always nurturing your own flame. For God has brought you to this moment, and may God ever keep you with the light, with health, and with joy. And let us say, Amen. And now, Lorelei, I'm going to invite you to the center of the bima. And Rabbi Sarada, if you would come and join me in the middle of the bima, and then moments from now, Rabbi Abby and you and I will have the opportunity to bless Lorelei along with Megan.
Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha. Shalom.
May God always smile upon you, Lorelei, and bless you with God's choicest of blessings, the blessing of wholeness, the blessing of peace, the blessing of shalom. And let us say,
Amen.
We're going to continue our service now with a couple of prayers for our community. We first turn in our prayer books to page 258, and we read from the bottom of the page. We read the prayer for our country that begins with, O Guardian. Please join me. O Guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen. And we join together in Avinu Shabashamayim, a prayer for peace and wise leadership in Israel, on page 259. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael ve'golano. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael ve'golano. Marech Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu, Hagen Aleha be'evrat chastecha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shlomecha. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael be'golano. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael be'golano. Tzur Yisrael ve'golano. We turn now in our prayer books to page 282, and it is my pleasure to invite forward to open our curtain Spencer once again, and Toby and Cheryl Libber. I know I said, but it's great that you're coming so much. And Sue and Brian Hilinyak. And also I would invite you to please rise as able as we turn to Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hako, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kagoy ha'aratzot, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתגעים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We turn now to memory as we think of dear ones who've entered into life eternal. Particularly in our hearts and minds, we are thinking of Barbara Lepp, whose funeral will be this Tuesday. And we think also of Harley Frank and Bruce Sherman, for whom we mark the period of Shiva. We think of Judith Allagood, Monica Cassidy, and Jim Wexler, for whom we mark the period of Shloshim, the 30-day mourning period. In addition to those names, so too do we think of dear members of your family, Lorelei. We think of Laverne and Al Stein, Sylvia and Edward Libber, Milt, Mitz, and of course we think of Kevin Cox, who is still shining his light down upon you with the same love and affection that he did in life. And we think of all those who've died due to war and or terrorism, all those who've died due to the terrible viruses of racism and xenophobia, all those who died in defense of this nation and allied nations' ideals, and all those who perished during the Holocaust. And certainly we're thinking of Lila, whose name you mentioned, and who knows how long it's been since her name was mentioned in a setting like this. And it's so meaningful to remember her. It's a very big mitzvah, Lorelei. If there are names that should be added to this list or names that should be pronounced differently than I did, if you're remembering somebody in your life, it's a mitzvah. It's a good deed, a commandment to call those names out loud. Please call those names as I look in your direction. We turn now to the sacred words of Kaddish Yatom, which can be found on page 294. Page 294. And we recite these words together, these words that are sanctified by memory and glorified by hope. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shmei rabba, bi'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen, yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam ulamei amaya. Yit barach v'ishtabach v'itpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. D'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav. Uyaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, amen. You may be seated. Our tradition teaches us that we always turn from sadness to joy, that those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. And it's joy now to call upon Roger Karp, one of your teachers, Lorelei, and one of our great teachers and leaders in our community and our congregation, who's going to present some gifts on behalf of our congregation to you. Roger, it's always a joy to spend time with you and to share the bima with you. And Lorelei, if you'd like to come up and receive these gifts from Roger. Thanks, Roger.
Well, Lorelei, Mazal Tov, it is a joy to represent the Board of Trustees, and I get to serve with your mom on that, and the Religious and Hebrew School faculty. And I think we all know what a beautiful voice you have. We know that you have great ideas about Torah, but I don't think everyone knows what a great juggler you are. And you may be wondering, well, Mr. Karp, what do you mean I don't toss oranges and I don't spin plates? No, but once you have that great ability to juggle, you juggle joy with seriousness. In class, in 5th grade, you juggled playfulness with studiousness. And those are remarkable qualities. And in our class, which was a big one and often boisterous, you provided great leadership by providing this balance. You may remember, maybe not. When you spoke in our class, other students paid attention. When you led, they listened. And that really says so much about the future. And so we're all grateful for the leadership that you provided our congregation on this afternoon. And to mark this occasion, we have this beautiful certificate that is signed by our rabbis and our wonderful cantorial soloist. And so that will remind you of a great day that you had here. And as we look ahead to the future, we have a Kiddush cup presented from the Women of Shalom, in which you can mark Shabbat and other holidays in the future. We have a tzedakah box, which will remind you, but I don't think you really need reminding of the importance of tzedakah as you come up with a wonderful mitzvah project. But this will be something to donate to causes in the future. And then we have a book, One People, Many Paths, A History of Jewish Milwaukee by John Gerda. And you'll learn about this wonderful community, its past, its present, and the future that you will shape. So, Mazal Tov, thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom.
We are now going to turn to the concluding sections of our service as we turn to Havdalah. So Lorelei, don't go anywhere. You're going to come stand right here. And Andrea and Gregor and Spencer, if you'd like to come up so that you can stand beside Lorelei, your sister and your daughter. And Havdalah is this beautiful ritual, a ritual that leads us softly out of Shabbat. But it teaches us to bring holiness with us wherever we go. And so we are going to kindle our Havdalah candle, and we'll begin to celebrate Havdalah and commemorate the distinction between Shabbat and the rest of the week.
Yai lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai lai ya la la lai 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 ya la lai lai ya la lai Yai lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai lai ya la la lai 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 ya la lai lai ya la lai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen
May the taste of this wine be a reminder of the sweetness of this moment for me and my family.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim borei minei v'samim
May these spices remind us that the sweetness of study, prayer, and charity can remain with us every moment of our lives.
Yalalai, yalalai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei me'orei ha'esh, borei me'orei ha'esh.
Fire is a symbol of wisdom's power and light. On this special day, I sanctify these flames in dedication to my becoming a bat mitzvah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol.
Havdalah offers a distinction between the Shabbat, the day of rest, and the remaining days of the week. It encourages us to realize the separation in all areas of our lives, the holy from the secular, the new from the old, and childhood from adulthood. We look forward to a week and a life of peace, of growth, and of inspiration.
Shavua tov, 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 Shavua tov. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi. Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagilati.
Now, Lorelei, if you go stand on the other side of the S tables, and don't worry, we're not going to make you drink any more wine, I promise. And Gregor and Andrea and Spencer, if you join her, and if you would uncover the challah and lift it up high. And the challah is such a powerful symbol, not just of sustenance that we get from food, but the sustenance that we draw from community. And like the challah is braided, so too are our lives intertwined. So we join together now in the singing of the motzi, of the blessing over the challah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
Please join me now in singing Siman Tov and Mazel Tov to Lorelei and her family.
Siman tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tov, siman tov. Yehei lanu, yehei lanu, yehei lanu, u'lecho Yisrael. Yehei lanu, yehei lanu, u'lecho Yisrael, Yehei lanu, u'lecho Yisrael, Yehei lanu, u'lecho Yisrael.
Mazel Tov, everyone. Please join us in Clearfield Hall, and it is a joy to celebrate in these moments with all of you. Shavua Tov.